In every meeting, there are three kinds of people: the talkers, the thinkers, and the leaders. The talkers fill the air, the thinkers stay silent, but the leaders, they speak so powerfully that every head turns. Now, the question is, how do they speak so powerfully and impactfully? And more importantly, how can you speak like a CEO in meetings? And this is what we are going to discuss today. But before we go forward, let's understand that what we are going to do today. First of all, we'll do a reality check that how is it so that mid-level communication most of the time that creates the perception gap. We'll also talk about the CEO formulas, the 8 power strategies that I'm going to give you. So stay with me till the very end. And also we'll talk about the voice and presence, and most importantly, how can you implement the same from your next meeting. Okay, so we are going to discuss this all, but the reality check, the most important thing. You know what? Most professionals don't sound average because they lack ideas. Simply, they sound average because they lack intentional delivery. And there has been one study actually that said 74% of the failure has been because of the communication failure. And another study says that almost 63% of managers lose authority due to rambling. So, this is what creates the perception gap. Now, the most important part, the 8 strategies that we are going to discuss that will change the way you communicate from your next meeting. So let's dive in and let's discuss the very first strategy. Our very first strategy is the CSP executive structure formula. Now, what does CSP stand for? How should you speak when you have content ready? So most of the people that deliver for the sake of delivering it, but now you're going to change that. So C stands for context. So that means whenever you speak on something, you set the stage with clear background information, why you are speaking that, what is the context of what you are speaking. And S stands for suggestion. What is your suggestion? What do you want to say? Do you have anything to add there? And will it make difference? And what way it is going to make the difference? This suggestion you are going to give. But the most important part is the proof, the P part. So that means the evidence. So now when you want to give the evidence of anything that you are speaking, just quote the example that you had done it in past and this is how it had delivered the result. Okay, so you can talk about your past performance to establish credibility and authority. Now this CSP formula will definitely make you stand out in the crowd. Now how does it happen? So this is the action before and after. Now, average professionals speak like that. The vendor pricing seems fine. Maybe the timelines are tight. So I guess we can think of changing it. No, you're not going to speak like this. So you're going to speak like a CEO. So how does a CEO speak the same thing? Now this is where you apply CSP formula: the context, suggestion, and proof. So context, we have 3 vendors options. Suggestion, I recommend vendor A, and why? The proof, that is P. 15% cheaper, 3-year track record, and of course, post sale support or post service support that they give. Now, this is how you're going to speak and how you're going to apply CSP formula. Now, let's come to strategy number 2. And this again is very, very important. This is CEO voice formula. That is our P3 rule. So, most of the people they deliver content, but instead of delivering content, you're going to make an impact. And how do you make that impact? With 3 P's. So I'm going to talk about P1, P2 and P3. But first of all, let's understand that you've got only 7 seconds to make an impression because your audience decides in the first 7 seconds whether they're going to stay with you or not. And the second thing is that the optimal word per minute delivery is almost 130 to 150. So don't speak so slow, but don't rush as well, because that also talks about your nervousness. And the third thing is, of course, this power of remaining silent. Sometimes the silence is power. I'm going to teach you how to do that. So stay with me. The first P is, of course, the pitch. What is your pitch? How high or low you're going to go? So you need to emphasize the keyword to show confidence and, of course, the emphasis as well. For example, you can say this in a flat pitch: we need to increase efficiency. No, a CEO doesn't speak like this. CEO speaks like that: we need to increase the efficiency. Now look at the pitch that I raised when I was talking about the word or when I was stressing the word increase. Now this strategic emphasis creates vocal leadership presence. In every sentence, when I spoke every, look at the way I delivered it. In every sentence. And this is what you are going to do. You're going to stress one single, and you need to practice that. One single word in every sentence, you're going to do that. Okay. Now, the second thing is the pace. First P is pitch, second P is pace. You need to sometimes slow down. When you're speaking, no need to rush all the time. Slow down. Now, don't stop, just slow down. So, why to slow down? Because it signals control and thoughtful leadership communication. So, optimal range is 130 to 150, as I told you. And this also signals the executive control. That means you have control over your content. Okay. Most of the time, the rushed speech that undermines the authority. And the third P is very, very important. So, what is the third P? Yeah, most of the people they ignore it. The pause, the power of silence. The pause doesn't mean that you are forgetting something. The pause means you want to remind them about something. And this is very important. The strategic silence before impact lines amplifies your leadership message. For example, look at this how I speak. A market share grew by 40%. Pause. Because we simplified everything. Now, instead of saying our market share grew by 40% because we simplified everything, say a market share grew by 40% because we simplified everything. Now, this simple pause can create anticipation and emphasis both. Now, this is a very, very important strategy that you should always, always implement. Now, let's come to strategy number 3. Again, very important strategy, the professional connectors formula. I've done a separate session on connectors. So please do watch that session as well, where I've talked about certain connectors and what do they do. Now, the connectors actually, they link the ideas to connectors like moreover, furthermore, last but not the least. These are the connectors, as you call them, conjunctions. So instead of using the simple ones like also and, you can add connectors like furthermore, just to add, and that makes you sound more professional. That creates the seamless flow between two concepts or ideas. So always use connectors to link your idea. And the second thing is you can illustrate and show whatever you want to. For instance, like you say for instance, so that means you want to show some kind of example, or you want to say namely, again you're showing something. In particular, you can quote some example. However, on the other end, that's it. That means you want to show something which is just opposite of that. Okay, and this is why I call it professional connectors. There are different kinds of connectors, simple connectors and professional connectors. Like to sum up, to summarize, they all are professional connectors. And this strategy is very, very important, though most of the time we ignore it, but very important strategy. Okay, so do use that. Now let's come to strategy number 4, the boss strategy. Now, this acronym actually will give you something, BOSS. And what it is all about? It is all about your body language. So, when you are speaking, what kind of body language should you have? Let's start with the first one, that is the B. Now, B is before your speech, before your meeting. So, what do you need to do? You need to breathe before speaking, and deep breathing that gives you the calm that you need before every meeting or every speech. So, you can inhale, hold your breath, then exhale, and do it twice or thrice or maybe 5 times. You'll have the calm that you require before every meeting or every speech. And that's very, very important. Again, much ignored, but very important. So, this was our B. And the second one is about your posture. Always have an open posture. So, what is an open posture? So, this is a closed posture. This is also closed posture. But when I have my hands here, when I have my shoulders like this is an open posture. This is a closed posture. So, what you're going to do is, you are not going to maybe have your hands like this or hide your palms in your pocket or at your back. No, keep your arms open and palms to the audience and try to use your hands. Have your shoulders open. Now, this is called open posture. Always, whenever you are speaking, okay, they'll give a different kind of authority. And then comes the S, BOSS, as I told you. Now, this is about subtle gestures. Yeah. So, you're going to move your hands slowly, and your hand should move as you speak, and they should align with the kind of words that you're delivering. So these are the subtle postures and gestures. Okay, so open posture and subtle gestures. And the last but not the least is your steady eye contact. So always have an eye contact with your audience. So you're not, most of the time when you're thinking about something, you start looking at the roof. Okay, you start doing that. It's okay once or twice because sometimes you want to pretend that you are very natural. You can do that. But most of the time, have an eye contact with your audience. So if you apply this boss formula, that means breathing and then of course open posture, subtle gestures and steady eye contact, you are going to command the room. You're going to own the room. I can definitely assure you of the same. By the way, if you want to take your English communication to the next level, join my masterclass Triple E System of English Communication. The link is in the description. Don't miss that. Okay, let's come to strategy number 5. And what is that strategy? WISC, wise. So if you want to disagree, because there is always a room for disagreement and there will always be disagreement in meetings. But the question is how to disagree with somebody while remaining polite, not hurting the sentiments of others. So there is a method to it. And I'm going to give you that formula. That is our strategy number 5, which is wise method of disagreement. Okay. The first is the W. So W means wait. So don't react. Most of the time, people they tend to react to somebody's opinion. Okay, so he has every right to disagree with you, and you also have every right to disagree with somebody, but don't react, respond. And what is the difference? The first difference between reaction and response is the pause. Take a 3-second pause before replying to show thoughtful consideration and avoid reactive responses. The other person also thinks that yes, you're not reacting because you took a pause and just saying, I see. Yeah, that's a good opinion. But, and then maybe that you can do that, you can disagree. So the next is the inquire respectfully. Now, what you need to do is you need to ask it, or maybe you can ask him, the person, to share more data on the same, or maybe to ask him to rephrase it. What do you mean by that? Okay, so what you can do is you can ask, can you share what made you feel that way? Okay, now this helps actually to understand the perspective of the other person. What does the other person want to say? And that's very, very important. So, what you're going to do? Wait, inquire, and now comes S and E. So, instead of only disagreeing, you also offer them support. And also, you need to express your opinion about the same. So, how do you give support and how do you express your opinion? So, you'll say support, oh, that's a valid point. Now, this is the support statement. But then at the same time, express your opinion. So, all the time you cannot agree. So, you would say, oh, that's a valid point. And then you can add, here is how I see it differently. And here is what I think about the issue. So, you can always disagree by giving support and by giving your opinion as well. So, this is very, very important. So, W is for wait, I for inquire, S for support, and then we have got E, that is express your opinion. This always shows empathy towards others' opinions. Okay, now let's come to strategy 6, my favorite. I've talked about this strategy many times over. And what is that? The STAR strategy. STAR is my favorite because it also includes storytelling. Stories, they evoke emotions, they inspire actions. Logic only informs, but the stories, they inspire. So instead of giving data, instead of giving logic all the time, sometimes you need to tell a story. So how to tell a story? So you can tell a story through STAR method. S stand for in STAR. So S stand for situation. So what you can do is you can set the scene. What is the situation? What is the situation? First of all, and do it in a storytelling way. So, like you can say, last year our client retention was dropping fast. Now, this is the scene, the background, the situation. And once you have done that, now you can come to these 2 points. What was the task and what action did you take? So, the second point would be task and action. So, now you need to define the challenge. So, what is the task in hand? And then what action did you take? So, then you can say, we realized our follow up process was broken. So, we created something. And that was your action. That is the action that you do. And then once you did it, you'll show the results. And that's very, very important. So we created a 3-step feedback loop and retention rose by 27%. Now this is important. And this, I always say that if you follow this method, that like you give the situation, you give the task, you give the action and the result, most of the time you're creating stories. And the stories, they inspire every single time. Okay, so that was my strategy number 6. Now let's come to strategy number 7, meeting closer SRA formula. Now that again is a beautiful formula that I'm going to give you. So in SRA, S stands for summarize the key takeaway. So once you have spoken everything that you wanted to speak, summarize your points once again. Because most of the time, people they tend to miss a point or two. So you need to take care of that. Okay, so instead of saying that's all from my side, now you capture the essence. To sum up, refining our onboarding process. And this is how you can summarize. Next, the R, that is reinforce why it matters. So again, you are giving your why, that why is it so. So you that means you're talking about the impact it will create. So you will say that onboarding process can cut training time by 20%. And then you can also give the result, directly improving our operational efficiency and team productivity. Very important. So that is R. And lastly, action. What is the next step you want your audience to take? You need to tell them directly. So like in videos and other things, we call it CTA, call to action. As a CEO, your CTA is your next step. So you need to take ownership of the project and you need to tell your audience, your managers, that you need to take the ownership now. So this week, I'll prepare pilot proposal for team A to review by Friday. Now leadership means driving next moves, not only summarizing. But now you're driving the process, you're driving the moves, you're driving the action. And this is what makes you a leader, a true leader. So that's a very, very important one once you have said what you wanted to say. Okay, now let's come to the most important one. I call it E3 CEO mindset loop. It's all about the mindset. If your mindset is right and you want to be a CEO, the right kind of CEO, you need to do that. So the first E stands for evaluate and next for evolving. So that means you need to evolve as a CEO as well. And the last one is, of course, you execute the refined version of yourself. So the first one is, of course, the evaluate the performance. After every meeting, evaluate what went right, what went wrong, how I could have done better. That is your evaluation. Once you have done that, always try to evolve. That means you can always tweak your language, your tone, your voice, your phrasing. You can always rephrase something into something else. So this is very important. When you evolve, you become the better version of yourself. Okay. Now, the next is execute the refined version. So once you have learned your improvement areas, you need to execute that. You need to execute refined version of yourself. That means you need to implement. And that's the most important. Most of the people actually, they evaluate, they also try to evolve, but they don't implement. They don't execute. And this is what you need to do. You need to execute everything that you have learned from your own meeting, from your own performance. Remember one thing, you don't need a promotion to start sounding like a CEO. No, you just need to decide to speak like a CEO. Wherever you are, at whatever position you are right now, you start speaking like a CEO and the rest will follow. It's a natural process. And that's what I want you to be. Okay, be like a CEO. So if you want to take a free masterclass on effective communication, so join that masterclass through the link I've given in the description. Okay, this is our triple E system of English communication. So speak like a CEO and lead like a CEO and sound like a CEO. This is what I want from each one of you. See you in the next one. Bye-bye. Take care.